Hi, I'm Holly Robinson Peete. There are 65 million adults, including us baby boomers, taking on the job few of us are prepared for: caregiver. I know the overwhelming challenge of this firsthand. I took care of my father when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. On Your Turn to Care, we'll look at everything from having that crucial talk with mom and dad about the future to decisions about long-term care. As caregivers, sometimes we feel we're never doing enough.
I started thinking, why aren't I nicer to him? Why don't I spend more time? Why don't I talk to him more?
A wonderful doctor that I had said, you know, Gail, there is a God, and you ain't it. And that was one of the best things that anybody ever told me. You know, move over. You can only do so much.
Every day is filled with these difficult decisions. What's the right thing? Who's going to pay? Are we going to exhaust our life savings?
We'll also find out why a renowned journalist writing about his father's last months of life caused an avalanche of responses.
End-of-life decisions are painfully difficult. I was also going through the same thing as he was with my father.
I reluctantly decided to withhold feeding from my dad. Steve's article very much spoke to me, and I think probably my entire generation who's going through the same thing.
And straight talk from people you know.
My dad was starting to go through red lights, so my sisters and I knew that it was time to take the car keys away. You have to step up. You have to take responsibility.
My father, of course, took it upon himself to be the #1 caregiver. Coming from his culture, which was Puerto Rican culture, you took pride in taking care of your own.
I think that this is a subject that's so important because you don't want to have your own children having this, you know, anxiety going through life.
As caregivers, we need to know we're not alone. Your Turn to Care is the multi-platform project with a website full of information. Most importantly, you'll hear from real people like you and me.
You actually have to think that your parents aren't your parents anymore, that you're in charge and you've got to look out for them.
Okay, Tucker, stay to the right.
Being a caregiver for your parents is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. From the time they moved in, you start to watch a steady decline and you can't fix it.
You okay, Dad?
At a minimum, what I look for now is just keeping them happy, keeping them safe, keeping them healthy as best I can. And I try spending as much time as I can with them, but I realize that I really can't be here 24/7.
Get a boyfriend.
Oh, look.
Get one with the money.
I do worry about the money, and that is going to be an issue coming up within the next few months. I have to sit down with my brother and sister and figure out basically what we're going to do. Looking at your parents' life, now you really are focusing in on what it might be, you know, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. So it makes me think that the next 10 or 15 years of my life are my best years, and I don't want it to slip by. So I'm making every effort to do everything I want to do now. After my parents get to bed, it's about 10 at night. And then usually I get my computer out and go online for internet dating. One of my dates showed up and he's running his hands along the railing of my front door there. And he said, why do you have a ramp up to your house? Was it here when you moved in? No, but it makes it easier, doesn't it? You know. And then I told him that my parents lived here, and he said, oh, I see. Yeah, he didn't call me again, so I try not to bring it up. There are times it just gets hard, and I need my space, and just going in my room isn't enough space. I need the whole outdoors for space. I think I'm good. I try my best, and I try to take care of myself and my mom and everybody. But I can't stop the inevitable from happening, and that's them dying and slipping away from me. But I can't fix everything.
Your Turn to Care, the journey of caregiving.